culture, it's influenced by three different ethnic groups. The first of those groups being the Native Americans, the Micmac tribe. They were the indigenous people in this area. We're also influenced by the West Africans, primarily from Senegal. West Africans were taken here as slaves throughout the 1700s, 1800s to work on plantations in Louisiana. A lot of our tour today deals with slavery, how that was governed in Louisiana, and how it was actualized on the plantation. And finally, we're influenced by the Europeans, the Spanish, the German, and of course the French. French colonized here in 1699, and in fact, French was spoken in this household until 1984. And this house right here, there are two European families which governed this plantation for 190 years from this house. The first was a French family, the second was a German, but both spoke French because both were Creole. This house right here, we call it La Maison Principale, which means the main house in French, but we also call it Une Maison de Bon Sens, House of Common Sense, for a couple reasons about the architecture. First thing that you'll notice about the house is that it's elevated off of the ground. That's because right behind you is the Mississippi River on the other side of the levee. The levee didn't exist until 1929, so before that, it would always flood during the springtime. The Creoles found it a little bit drier to live on the second floor. The other thing of common sense are all the doors you see there. The two in the center were always left open. They're called the breezes for capturing the breeze coming off the Mississippi. The third thing of common sense is something that you can't see because it's underneath the house. Here in Louisiana, we're not living on rock. In fact, we're living on river silt. Y'all can see the soil right here. It has a very sand-like quality. It moves well, and also it soaks up moisture. So the soil is really great for growing sugarcane. It's really terrible for building houses. Those brick columns right there extend 8 feet into the ground, and after 8 feet, they divert out into 72 brick pyramids, all touching at the bottom, creating a floating structure in the river silt. And if you're passing along the Mississippi River in your boat throughout the 1800s, you could tell who was living in the house and what language was spoken there by the colors and the architecture of the house. The Creoles are painting their houses yellow, thinking, well, you're living right next door to the Mississippi. Eventually your house will turn yellow, so why not paint it yellow in the first place? But if you're thinking of those kind of boring white homes with the extravagant columns out front, the staircases, those are the homes of Les Américains, the Americans living right down the river who occupied a very small percentage of this culture until the early 1900s. But then, in the early 1900s, the Americans arrive here in mass. They take over the state. They win the majority in the state legislature in 1912, and in 1921, the Americans make it illegal to speak French in both government buildings and in public schools. So all the Creoles, through forced assimilation, believed that they were becoming second-class citizens, and all of them started to paint their houses white to blend in with their American neighbors. So we got here in 1993 to a completely painted white home, but we restored the house in its original colors, found those underneath the white paint. And we hired a team of researchers to discover more about the house. They went to Paris, France, and there in the National Archives, they found 5,000 pages of documents on the first French family who inhabited this space. And then that led us to St. Louis, Missouri, where we found the memoirs of a young woman who was born in this house in 1861. I'm sure you know her name because it's Laura. All the stories that you're going to hear today do come from Laura's memoirs. And again, my name is Alex. I'll be your tour guide today and storyteller. We do have a couple rules about the tour. The first is about cell phones. If y'all want to get those out now, I'll go ahead and collect them, throw them in Mississippi, company policy. Or if you turn them on silent, that would be lovely, and that way everyone can really enjoy the tour today. Second rule is going to be about photos. Take all the pictures you'd like. I'd love for you to remember your experience here today at Lara, post them on Facebook, social media, hashtag best tour guide ever. Please, filming is not allowed throughout the tour. Last rule is that you must stay with me.